Welcome to Very Curious Places in the Dark. I can't tell if that helped or not. Trying to go ahead and record some of the stuff today for next week. And I fiddle with that thing so much, it's crazy. But anyway, so this is Mystery Monday, which I am taping on Friday. In hopes that I might actually get it put on the computer on Monday. So the Mystery Monday for the coming week is going to be Miss Marple. Now, Miss Marple, like Hercule Poirot and things like that, all started out as books by Agatha Christie. I should turn the AC down so you can actually hear me. And I'm sorry, it's shaky a little bit right now. I don't know what's going on with that. Something about the road. I get onto a different road and it is just still as everything, and I might have to scrap it and move to a different one because I have repositioned this in every way I can think of and it won't stop. It's weird. But anyway, so, but yes, Miss Marple. Miss Marple is basically Agatha Christie's premier little old lady detective. And, you only see, every so often you'll see like flashbacks of Miss Marple of what she was like when she was younger, but for the most part, all of the books and the television shows were done from the point of view of when she was an older woman, retired, you know, and she sat at home, she crocheted, and her other hobby was, you know, solving mysteries, you know, and I just don't think that's gonna work. It's shaking so bad today. I don't know what is wrong, if it's something, my tires are a little low or something, but it's fine on some other roads. So anyway, I know, random, but Miss Marple is great. Miss Marple is the little old lady who is unassuming, that you wouldn't think that, you know, she does anything, and she just kind of slides into there to the cops, and she just kind of slides into the cops' investigation and then just very politely says things while knitting. She's always knitting. She always has a ball of yarn and knitting needles with her, and so she'll be knitting and she'll just throw out something and everybody will kind of just look at her like, huh, never thought of that. Well, dang, you know. And she just, you know, it's different from Hercule Poirot because of the fact that she's a little less in your face about it. Excuse me. Like I said, she's a little bit less in your face about it, and she's more of the kind of subtly gives you the information and leads you in the direction she wants you to go. And if you try and go left, she's like, well, now you know, and she'll say something and all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe I should go right instead. And I've read all the Agatha Christie books of Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot. I've read pretty much all the Agatha Christie books, period. I will say this, the books are better than the TV shows, but the TV shows, which you can watch on Netflix, are awesome. There was one Miss Marple that I liked better than the other one, but I do like them both. In the TV series they had, there was one of them that, I don't know, I liked a little bit better. But all in all, the shows were still excellent. And that is one thing about Agatha Christie. It's one of those kind of mystery authors that kind of transcends time. You know, yeah, all of her books are set in, you know, the 1910s, 1920s, you know, back in those days. And she even has some where you have flashbacks of like during the war and stuff like that. But it's, they're mysteries that you can still understand now. And I think that's what's really great about her. And the differences between her lead characters, just like the differences between Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple, awesome. It's such unique differences between the two because they are just like two real people. They are fleshed out so well in the books, and it works out over it transcends really well and works out really well in the shows as well. Now, when it comes to Hercule Poirot, there has been only one guy that ever really was the epitome of Hercule Poirot to me, and that is the one that was in the TV series, whose name completely escapes me right now. But Miss Marple, there have been a couple of Miss Marples, and you know, one was some are better than others, but Miss Marple is basically the little old lady next door. You know, she's the grandmother next door. You know, she's always looking out for people. Well, dear, do you need something? You know, I'll crochet you a scarf. I'll knit you a scarf. It'll be fine. I'll knit you a sweater. You know, things like that. And it really, I don't know, it's awesome. I do love her. I just really do. And I think this is too bouncy, and I'm going to end up having to, I hope I don't end up having to retake this. But yeah, no, there are so many good things about Miss Marple, and see, now it stopped almost shaking. I don't know, weird roads. But there are so many awesome things about Miss Marple, and so few bad things, to me. That's my opinion. And like I said, you can watch her on Netflix. I am a big fan of Agatha Christie, period, so I really do suggest, I tell people, if you love reading and you've never read an Agatha Christie book, oh God, read one. They're great. They're the greatest books ever. I just adore them. I don't think I've ever read an Agatha Christie book I didn't like. You know, there's just so many good things about them. And the one thing about the books that you don't get a lot of in the shows is that everything is laid out in more detail in the books. Now, the shows, because of time constraints and so on and so forth, you do have to kind of limit what gets taken from the book and what gets put on screen. So, I mean, that is the downside of television and movies and such like that. But, you know, it's not they handle it very well in these shows. And that's a great thing, because a lot of these shows, they don't really handle it well. That's better. But yeah, a lot of these shows, when they take a book and move it into a show or a movie, some of them don't work it out well. You know, I mean, but these, Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot, which I think I've done one on him already, but the Miss Marple mysteries, they handled it very well. You know, it's excellent, in my opinion. And there's quite a few of the shows, and you know, I've watched them over and over and over and over again, to the point now where I always know who the killer is, and I always know what happened, why it happened, everything like that. But I'm still just like, oh, it doesn't hurt, I'll watch it again. You know, I'm just like, oh, and it just gets better every time, and it's just like, yeah, I still love it. You know, you know, and I'll just watch it and I'll be going, I still can't believe that. You know? I do, yes, I talk to the television. I talk to my pets too. So I'm one of those people. But yeah. But it's just an excellent show. And the other thing is, it's safe for family viewing. I mean, it's not, you know, there's not any nudity, there's not any sexual content, you know. It's safe for all ages. Granted, now little ones probably not going to have a lot of interest in it, because it is, you know, it is a mystery. But, you know, a little bit older ones, you know, if they like mysteries and stuff like that, and they like to read, you know, these are good ones for them, because, you know, they're interesting shows, and they're a lot more family friendly than some of the modern shows that are on television. Because I know there have been times I've turned on television shows and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of skin right off the bat. I have been sneezing all day. Oh, so yeah. But there have been shows, you just flip it on and the first thing you see is just someone that's half naked, and you're just like, oh my God, this isn't like regular TV. What the hell? You know? So yeah. It's a bit to take in sometimes, so that's why I think shows like this are so great, you know, because I know kids nowadays, they're kind of blind to it. They don't think anything of like a bunch of cussing and a bunch of nudity and a bunch of, you know, violence. But at the same time, you know, while they're used to it, it's like, there's no reason why we have to have that going. You know, we can watch something else. Even in Disney's a little bit risque these days, you know. I seriously, the little innuendos they put in Disney, it's like, I thought this was supposed to be a kid's cartoon. What the? Did that lizard just talk about his prostate? What? Seriously. And that was actually in a movie. And I was watching it with my niece and nephews, and I was like, wait, what? And I actually looked at my sister and I'm like, did that lizard? And she's like, yeah. I was like, this is Disney, right? I said, it's a kid's show. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, the hell? Okay. Granted, the kids didn't get it. Now, they would probably get it now if they went back and watched it, which I doubt they would ever. But yeah, they, it went right over their heads, but I'm just sitting there going, And I actually started, watching them a little bit closer after that, because I was like, these movies are kind of messed up. How did we not notice this when we were kids? And I was like, well, because we were kids. And I'm like, that's just not right. So that's why I like the family-friendly ones that you actually know are, in fact, family-friendly. You know, there's no... If there's something that's put in there that's supposed to be subtle, it is, like, really subtle, you know. Whereas, you know, with some of the cartoons nowadays, it's like, yeah, that ain't subtle at all. Not even close. But, oh well. It is how people like it. I don't get judgy about it, but I'm just like, you know, I don't remember them being like that when I was a kid. Nowadays, I think, now though, I wonder if maybe I should go back and watch some of the ones that I watched when I was a kid, just to see. But then I'm like, I don't want to destroy my childhood that way, so I'm just going to let it go. Yeah. We're going to let it go. Like Elsa, we're going to let it go, and we don't want to build a snowman. Okay. And on that note, it's been 12 minutes, and a large chunk of that has been me just rambling. Miss Marple, off of Netflix. You can probably find it on Amazon, too. Great shows. Very entertaining. If you love mysteries, you will love this. Also, check out the books. Agatha Christie. Awesome author. Awesome. She's just awesome. I have nothing bad to say about her. So, yeah. Give them a look-see. As always, much love from Monty in a very curious place. Stay sturdy, sweeties. Bye.